lacrosse, because it's the combination of a few sports, it's the combination of football, it's the combination of hockey, it's the combination of basketball. I couldn't skate, and for whatever reason I didn't play football in high school, but it had the physical contact, it had the speed, but it had this incredible elegance, the passion, the violence, all of it together. It was just the most amazingly fun, scary sometimes, but exhilarating thing I had ever experienced, because it was like basketball except you could foul, and I really liked that.
In 1984, John Geanakos was a UMass Lowell senior. He was a lacrosse player, described as a speed merchant, a tough defender, an unselfish player. More than 3 decades have passed since those words appeared in the school's lacrosse brochure. He was, in 1984, one of 4 senior captains.
You know, I would do anything with the guy, and I know he would do anything for me, and it all started right here back in 1981 on a lacrosse field. But John's a great guy, successful in his endeavors. All of the circle of friends, John, myself, and the others I mentioned, have all been very successful in what we've chosen to do, and I think we each, knowing each other and being friends for all those years, helped drive us to those successes.
Today, John Geanakos is the Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of Cabot Street Capital Partners. Cabot, located in New York's Flatiron District, offers sophisticated investors opportunities to allocate capital to high-quality real estate investments in predominantly urban growth markets across the United States. Geanakos, nationally recognized in the real estate industry with nearly 30 years of experience, is responsible for overseeing the firm's management and expansion, identifying new investments, developing capital formation initiatives, and maintaining the firm's investor relationships. He also works with Cabot's operating partners to optimize each transaction and advise them on strategically growing their businesses. Geanakos began his career as a commercial real estate lender in Massachusetts and has been involved with transactions exceeding $6 billion in value. And maybe it all began on the lacrosse field in Lowell.
I was surrounded by great players. I think I was a really strong role player, to be honest with you. Evidently they said I was quite good at defense. I was quite good at moving the ball up the field reasonably quick, I guess, at the time, no longer. But I was surrounded by some amazing players. A couple of my teammates are now in our Hall of Fame. Stu McCord, Joe McMahon at midfield and at goalie, respectively. And we had great players. I think the thing that was exciting about however I played the game was I was a raw athlete, and our second coach, not our first coach, but Steve Conley, came to our program my sophomore year, and he had a penchant for taking athletes and making them lacrosse players. And I would definitely say I was more an athlete than I was a natural lacrosse player. And rumor has it he did more than was expected with what little he had to work with. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do at all. I knew that I wanted to go to a place that was larger than my hometown. My hometown was quite small. Everybody knew one another, all the benefits and the detriments that come from that. Lowell was a big place to me. It was, you'd have to check the statistics, but maybe 7,000 or 8,000 students were on campus, and I had 650 kids in my high school. So I knew that I wanted to go to a bigger place, and it fulfilled that bill for me. But no, I had no designs on, other than I had heard that business was a good thing for somebody who was good at English and political science and not so good at math and science, those were my strengths and weaknesses. So it just sort of happened, candidly, and I was lucky that I fell into something that ended up working. There are people that have this amazing ability to recall statistics or game situations. I don't know whether it's my advanced age, I don't know if it's all the impact with a bad helmet, I don't know, but what I remember the most is the extraordinary friendships that were created. I was fortunate enough to be asked to come back and speak to our first lacrosse team, and I mentioned to these wonderful, fresh-faced young men, I said, you're going to maybe remember some wins or losses, but the friendships that you're forging over these next 4 years, those are what are going to really last. And for me, lacrosse, at the high school level, certainly, but at the collegiate level, my friends, some of which are now 30-plus years in the making, we're still friends. We've been ushers at one another's weddings, know each other's children as our own. I probably wouldn't have had those experiences without lacrosse. So in that fashion, I think the sport has blessed me that way. It's been great. I actually didn't believe it when I first heard it. I thought it was just the optimism of somebody in the development team saying, wouldn't it be nice if lacrosse came back? And I said, yeah, no, it would be great. But I can't imagine the school, which is now focused on hockey, focused on Division I sports, why would they bring back a sport that was really a regionally successful Division III program? But when all of a sudden it was announced, and to your point, they announced that lacrosse was a priority because of entering the new league, I was stunned and immediately contacted some of my old teammates, and they thought I was rounding up as usual, being the optimist. I said, no, this is legit. It's really happening. So, it was extraordinary. It's very exciting. Chancellor Meehan's efforts, Dana Skinner's efforts, the team that Lowell has established, I think these are echo chambers of success. Whether it's the 8 new buildings, whether it's the dedication of more scholarships, whether it's the greater media exposure. You're now seeing the school so frequently referenced in the Boston Globe and in the national media. Lacrosse is selfishly a great symptom of that success, but I think it's all part of this amazing renaissance that the school has experienced. I mean, if you look at, just as somebody who moved out of the area and has been more of a casual observer as an alumnus of what's happened, if you look at the last 5 years in particular, the momentum surrounding the campus, both athletically, academically, outreach to alums, similar to myself, I still feel like I'm speaking in terms of fiction because of so much that's happened. So it's been remarkable. It's those moments on the sidelines. It's the moment where we've got the eye black on and we've got, we're all muddy and we're young, and you're looking around at the faces of guys that were part of how your life changed. And we laugh now because we go to a hockey game or we go to a dinner in Lowell and same faces, well, same eyes at least. But no, those are the memories of these amazingly great guys, and we were battling together. I mean, it wasn't that important really, but it was to us at the time, and those are extraordinary snapshots from a long time ago, and they still make me smile. Did that necessarily move into what I'm doing today? I've never not liked to lead. I've loved that always, sometimes well, sometimes less so. So maybe it wasn't the first time, because I was captain of my high school basketball team. We weren't very good, but I was still captain. But I would say that it was an honor, and there was a feeling of responsibility that I may not have had if I hadn't been captain. But as I say, I was one of 4, so I was additive. I wasn't exclusive, certainly not.